In a startling move that has sent shockwaves through royal watchers and the British populace, King Charles has shattered a centuries-old tradition. The impetus? An alleged scheme involving Camilla, Queen Consort, with one target in mind, Kate, the beloved future queen. What could drive the modern monarchy to the precipice of scandal? Before we go deeper into what this really means for the royal family, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss a single update. In a swift stroke, King Charles has dismissed a custom deeply embedded in the kingdom's fabric, leaving historians aghast and loyalists on edge. This bold command defies generations of royal decorum, raising questions as sharp as the blades of knights past. Almost overnight, the veneer of regal unity appears to crumble, revealing underlying fractures. It's a decision not just revered for its historic gravitas, but one that now stirs the potential to reshape how the public views this noble lineage. For onlookers around the world, this marks more than a dramatic shift. It is a tectonic upheaval shaking the very scaffolding of monarchy. News of the tradition's nullification spread like wildfire, seizing headlines and captivating a nation hungry for royal intrigue. The press, forever perched at the palace gates, relayed this stunning twist with fervor, each update a clarion call piercing through hushed living rooms and bustling streets. The public's reaction, a frenzied mix of disbelief and curiosity, mirrors the media's ceaseless quest for truth. Their murmurings of discord at the heart of monarchy only fuel the fire, as tongues wag about unseen machinations. What else lies in the shadows? The world seems to ask. At the epicenter of speculation swirl theories of a critical wedge driven between the senior royals. As whispers grow from corridors to commons, this suspicion finds a grim face in Camilla, Queen Consort. The undercurrents of the court hint at a web spun with intent, laying bare a plot purportedly designed to undercut Kate's future ascent. The drama thickens as imaginations picture stolen glances and hushed schemes windows into a plan that might unravel domestic and dynastic loyalties. The palace may stand defiantly against this storm, a grand edifice of tradition and duty, yet even such fortresses harbor fragile souls. Beneath the gilded surface, the royal family continues to navigate turbulent waters, where the question of legacy wields a threatening presence. Each headline suggests a deeper fissure, echoing the immutable struggles of those cloaked in privilege and power. As the echoes of Charles's decree ripple through the corridors of power, we lift the veil on the tumultuous history and unspoken rivalries weaving the narrative of royal life. Step inside the clandestine world of royal intrigue, where every smile masks a secret and every gesture a strategy. What shadows are cast upon the union of Camilla and Kate, two formidable royal figures whose relationship seems destined for conflict? The grandeur of the monarchy is more than just the gleam of gold and the shimmer of jewels. It's a realm governed by traditions as old as time itself, a tapestry woven with denials, affirmations, oaths whispered rather than spoken. In this intricate web, the abrupt cancellation of a now iconic tradition sends ripples through the annals of power, signaling a storm yet to be named. The kingdom's history cradles countless tales of duty and dissent, yet never before has the fabric of union been so unsewn, so publicly challenged. At the heart of this turmoil stands Camilla, a figure whose very name echoes within the hallowed halls of Windsor. Her journey to ascendancy is nothing short of legendary, a testament to resilience and the will to carve space within history's relentless gaze. Yet beneath this ascension lies a legacy mired in complication, a dance with duty fraught with shadows, secrets whispered in corridors long abandoned. Her union to the crown may have solidified her place, yet the echoes of the past tug relentlessly at her regality, revealing the scars time has failed to erase. Contrasting this ascent is Kate, Duchess of Cambridge, whose rise has been as meteoric as it is magnetic. Unlike Camilla, her influence spills beyond the stately borders, rippling through the hearts of a public enamored by her grace. Her seamless blending of modernity with tradition renders her not just a figurehead, but a symbol of future hope. The kingdom watches, captivated, as her role continues to expand, a natural catalyst for change, inciting whispers that perhaps she's the monarchic metamorphosis personified. In the shadows, motives fester. Whispers of a plot Camilla's purported design to discredit Kate linger like an unwelcome chill within those vaulting palace walls. Is it spite, rooted in a legacy of unresolved resentment? or perhaps a calculated strategy, a bid to reclaim a narrative slipping from her grasp? Analyzing these presumed intentions evokes a profound déjà vu, reminding court followers of history's penchant for repeating itself. The relationships among royals have danced this steps before a lethal combination of perception and reality, a balancing act precariously perched between poise and perception. Tensions between Camilla and Kate have been discernible only to the most discerning eyes, their exchanges a masterpiece of civility embroidered with threads of tension. Public appearances belie the power plays churning beneath the surface, the sly sidelong glances, the coded language of exclusion veiled in courtesy. Even the most innocuous exchanges can, over time, build a tower of animosity, one nod at a time. In a world where secrecy is currency, the court's inner sanctum remains a psychological battleground. Each royal figure a master in the chess game of influence, where pawns and queens alike maneuver with cautious audacity. Here, allegiances are ever shifting, mimicking the kaleidoscope of human emotion behind guards of ironclad composure. Every gesture, laden with dual intent, speaks volumes more than the spoken word ever could. The stage is set, but to truly understand the interplay of loyalty and betrayal, we must unravel the events leading to this confrontation. The royal family may outwardly project unity, but beneath the surface lies a simmering tension that has erupted in the past. What age-old grievances fuel modern rivalries, risking the stability of the monarchy itself? It begins with tales whispered in the hallowed halls of palaces, stories of conflicts that trace back through generations. Fabled disagreements over power, affection, and loyalty have cast long shadows over the royal kin, threatening to eclipse today's fragile bonds. It is as if ancient echoes of discord have been making their way through time, rattling today's foundations and setting the stage for an escalating drama. Charles, poised on the fulcrum of the monarchy, finds himself torn between two demanding worlds, the expectations of the crown and the companionship of his beloved Camilla. This internal schism is no secret. His divided loyalties, a heartbreaking routine of duty versus desire, spill into the public arena. To some, Charles' indecision signifies weakness, yet to others, it reveals a deeply human struggle with the impossibility of his position. The memory of Diana, a brilliant, haunting specter, shapes these battles. Her absence doesn't simply exacerbate his turmoil, it transforms Camilla's presence from mere controversy to a catalyst in the royal divide. Camilla, vilified by many, stands at the heart of this tempest. Her public persona, one meticulously carved out of diligence and poise, contrasts sharply with a narrative of personal ambition whispered among the royals. Navigating the treachery of her place within the monarchy, Camilla's ambitions, though perhaps misunderstood, subtly alter the course of history. It is within this juxtaposition that modern tensions draw strength. Her ambitions are both applauded and scrutinized, weaving a complex tapestry where each thread seems to unravel the next. These tensions are vividly foreshadowed through incidents not merely remembered, but living in the very air of the palace corridors. A family gathering unwittingly becomes a stage where looks linger just a second too long, where nothing and everything are said with silence. At a state banquet, a slipped tongue or a cutting remark veers dangerously close to unleashing submerged tensions, making every formal smile appear a barely contained sneer. These are mundane moments charged with potential, a sequence of small tremors that precede the earthquake. In contrast to the simmering discord, Kate embodies a newer narrative, arguably the monarchy's most deft strategic maneuver in recent times. Her trajectory from commoner to the people's duchess offers a much-needed balm for the public's affections. Yet, she too navigates an emotional labyrinth, balancing the historical weight of the family with her modern sensibilities. Kate's evolution becomes emblematic of the institution's ability or inability to innovate, to sustain a legacy cradled in tradition, yet confronted by contemporary upheavals. But the emotional weight of legacy rests most heavily on Charles. Caught between fulfilling a fairy tale and the more sobering task of preserving tradition, he bears a solitary burden of expectation. The future of the monarchy is a crown that presses upon his brow, a constant reminder of his father's successes and failures, a mirrored reflection of his mortality and impact. As alliances shift and battle lines are drawn, we delve into the momentous episode that brought these tensions to the forefront. The battles once fought behind curtains of discretion now threatened to erupt with renewed intensity. A potent mix of time-honored scars and fresh wounds battling for dominion. In this crucible, will unity prevail, or will the echoes of past grievances dictate the narrative of this modern monarchy? It began as whispers in the shadowed corridors of the palace, rumors that slithered under crackling chandeliers and through the thick velvet drapes of guarded windows. With each passing day, the audacious plan to humiliate Kate unfurled a calculated attack designed to disturb the delicate equilibrium between tradition and ambition. The rumors had a heartbeat of their own, gaining vigor as confidants of the grand design delicately played their roles like actors before the curtain rise. Hidden among them were familiar faces, some loyal to the crown, others motivated by their own secret agendas. Yet none as central as Camilla, orchestrating the scheme with a subtle finesse that belied its destructive potential. The timeline was no coincidence, it was meticulously curated. From the first whispered conversation over tea 5 months ago to the hushed meetings held in shadowy alcoves of the palace library, every move was deliberate. Encoded messages woven into innocuous remarks at ball after ball, secret rendezvous cloaked under the guise of routine. Particular hearts beat faster as they wove this tapestry of deceit, the hidden meetings reminding them that every luxuriant gown and polished shoe could hold a grain of their ruinous plan. Then came the planning of the stage, none other than the gala meant to celebrate a historic royal event, now shrouded with inevitable infamy. The gala would be the perfect moment, the eyes of the nation and the world watching, the spotlight harsh and unyielding. Vows of loyalty tested, friendships strained under the knowledge of this ticking time bomb. A mother, wife, and future queen, a woman whose poise in public was only matched by her vulnerability behind closed doors. Would she be able to withstand the impending storm? Buoyed by the love she had for her family and her unwavering resolve to protect the legacy she was bound to inherit? Yet it is within these walls of regal opulence that news travels faster than the swiftness of thought. The clue storms finally reached Charles, a compass through chaos. His initial disbelief rustled into awareness, a burgeoning crisis that pried into the serenity of his carefully ordered life, threatening the unity he had sworn to preserve. Here was a king caught in the tides of competing loyalty, his world teetering precariously between the history he cherished and the future he was meant to forge. Tensions mounted to a crescendo, the air crackling with the anticipation of resolution or revelation. Every spoken whisper amplified into the crescendo of choice and consequence. As the breadth of the scheme laid itself bare, the question no longer lingered as an abstract ponderance. All eyes turned to the sovereign's next move. The king, with time slipping through his fingers, stood at the brink. Where would he draw his line in the sand? Inside the solemn walls of Buckingham Palace, a realm of tradition woven with whispers of the ages, King Charles stands at a crossroads. His heart pounds with the weight of decision, a father's love clashing violently against the iron chains of royal duty. In his private chamber, surrounded by the stoic ghosts of rulers past, Charles finds himself ensnared between the relentless ambitions of his wife Camilla and the burgeoning hopes of his son. The air is taut with silence, interrupted only by the clicking of distant heels against marble, echoing his mounting dilemma. Rumors swirl around Camilla's insatiable hunger for influence, her every move dissected by an ever-watchful media that feeds on the spectacle of potential betrayal. These whispers don't just threaten domestic peace, they test the very pillars upon which Charles' reign stands. This isn't the first storm Charles has faced. His personal history is marked with moments of defiance, choices that challenged convention to protect the crown's gravitas. He recalls, not without a tinge of pride, those instances when he navigated turbulent waters with the same steadfast resolve he tries to muster now. Yet as each day passes, the stakes grow higher. Every consultation with his inner circle, those wisest confidants whose loyalty he trusts implicitly, lays bare the stark reality. They lean in close, their voices hushed as if to prevent the walls from hearing too much. Their advice is covert, wrapped in the jealously guarded privacy that only monarchs understand. As they speak, Charles nods gravely, their words echoing in his mind long after they've departed. He's aware that every suggestion is underscored with the unspoken understanding that no advice can diminish the burden of choice resting on his shoulders alone. Outside these walls, The world watches with eager eyes. The public, relentless in its curiosity, demands that the king exhibit the demeanor of a stoic ruler, unperturbed by scandal or internal strife. The pressure mounts as Charles weighs not only his family's future, but also the very fabric of the monarchy. Can he afford a misstep that tilts the scales towards chaos? Risk analysis becomes his nightly companion, a silent figure scrutinizing every potential outcome. He knows that whatever he decides, the reverberations will be felt far beyond the palace gates. Will his choice safeguard a legacy, or shatter it like fragile crystal under relentless scrutiny? Within his soul, a tempest brews raw, unyielding, and profoundly human. Charles grapples with the duality of his existence. A loving father, seeking only peace for his heirs. A dutiful monarch, sworn to uphold the dignity of his lineage. In those quiet moments, when night envelops the palace, he allows himself to envision each path, to feel its weight and consequence as though cradling history itself. It's not just Charles who is affected. His family stands on the precipice with him. His subjects hold their breath, the whispers of history gathering like a storm. And so, the proclamation is made a ripple in the calm that once encircled the royal court. The king's decision is public now, casting into motion a series of events that will test the resolve of the monarchy itself. The air is electric with anticipation, as though nature itself is bracing for the impact. Charles stands firm, yet inside, he remains a father torn by love and duty, his heart echoing the silent prayers of generations before him, their legacy woven into the tapestry of his reign. As the kingdom waits, history's pen hovers, poised to capture what will come next. The royal edict reverberates through the realm, leaving confusion in its wake. As the dust settles, the monarchy faces a new dawn of scrutiny and skepticism, the fabric of tradition stretched to its limits. The decision of King Charles echoes not only through the hallowed halls of the palace, but reverberates across continents, stirring both fascination and incredulity. In Paris, whispers of admiration intermingle with murmurs of disbelief, while in New York, the headlines boldly question the longevity of the Windsor's reign. This bold move, one that cracks open the genteel fade of royalty, leapfrogs borders, begging the world to re-examine what it means to uphold centuries of stature in an ever-modernizing world. The ramifications are swift. A shift in public sentiment towards Camilla and Kate is palpable. For some, Camilla's poised endurance fosters newfound respect, while others rally around Kate, viewing her as the epitome of timeless grace tempered with the present-day resolve. The invisible line dividing public opinion sharpens, each side drawing closer to its respective figurehead. The media, an ever-present specter, dances gleefully around these developments, amplifying every whisper into symphonic crescendos. Tabloids embellish details, weaving narratives that set imaginations alight and shape perceptions with cunning fidelity. Yet within these palatial walls, beneath the opulent chandeliers and regal tapestries, the emotional weight burgeons with each passing day. Camilla faces the paradox of being both celebrated and condemned, her resolve tested with each murmured slight disguised as polite conversation. Kate, meanwhile, wrestles with the paradox of honor and ordinariness, shouldering her own family's anxieties while holding ever dear the virtues bestowed upon her by public adulation. Their families, inadvertently thrust into the spotlight's harsh glare, confront the reality that personal lives are fodder for a public ever hungry for scandal and homage. The impact seeps into royal engagements, a subtle yet unmistakable shadow that informs every curtsied greeting and every speech delivered with poignancy. Public duties, once pedestrian, now carry weightier implications. The elegance of horse-drawn carriages and the clinking of ceremonial attire contrast sharply with the muted, unspoken tension that accompanies every royal appearance. Each wave to the gathered crowds, each handshake becomes a testament to resolve and resilience, a quiet but resounding note of defiance. Inside the royal family, the edict unearths fractures, or perhaps hidden seams of solidarity. In this turmoil, will unity forge a stronger dynasty, or is this just the beginning of an unraveling forever cauterized in public view? The aftershocks could catalyze a renewed family allegiance or deepen fissures that, once obscured, now gape. Conversations once fleeting behind the palace doors hold the potential to redefine what this family means in an era inextricably altered by one man's resolve to chart a course all his own. With wounds exposed and the world watching, the future of the monarchy restarts a new chapter fraught with challenges. This epoch unfolds under the scrutinizing gaze of a world yearning for both tradition and transformation. The monarchy stands at a crossroads, embarking on a journey as uncertain as it is inevitable. As the focal point of the scandal, Camilla faces formidable opponents and unexpected allies. In the face of adversity, will the Queen Consort rise above or fall captive to her own ambitions? In the hothouse of royal intrigue, Camilla stands on the precipice of her own undoing, her every move dissected by adversaries waiting to see her falter. The allegations loom large, casting shadows that extend into every corner of her existence. The whispers in the palace halls speak of betrayal and ambition, while the relentless scrutiny chews at the edges of her carefully constructed fade. Yet, amid this storm, Camilla remains an enigmatic figure, unyielding. The toll is evident, though a slow chipping away of resolve as private travails become public spectacle. Driven by an intricate blend of necessity and resolve, Camilla maneuvers through treacherous waters. Her response is not one of retreat, but calculated engagement, a strategic dance between visibility and discretion. She knows well that the court of public opinion is as palpable as it is fickle. Would this be her descent into infamy, she wonders, or the marked return to grace, a testament to resilience in the face of near insurmountable odds? The path she chooses is laden with the delicate art of alliance forming. Wisely, she cultivates connections both within the royal ranks and beyond the opulent palace gates, each carefully chosen confidant poised to serve as either a shield or a sword. In the court of hearts and minds, public persona shifts with a deftness that alarms some and impresses others. The previously whispered narrative of an inaccessible and distant queen consort morphs into that of a woman steeled by the fire of adversity. With every decision, Camilla crafts an image painted with broad strokes of defiance and subtle hues of redemption. A picture not easily deciphered yet striking nonetheless. The tabloids buzz ceaselessly. Ripples of her evolving standing travel far beyond the palace walls, feeding the insatiable appetites of royal watchers keen on the scent of scandal. Her reflection in the mirror of public perception is now a study in contrasts, resilience juxtaposed with vulnerability, certainty marred by doubt. As Camilla contemplates the path ahead, she confronts the specter of her own ambitions and limitations, aware that this narrative could either bind her to the annals of history or free her from its harshest judgments. Through it all, rumblings of discord continue to sound, each one a reminder of the constant watchfulness surrounding her position, a lesson in the enduring weight of the crown she wears. The spotlight shifts as one royal bears the burden of renewed scrutiny, setting the stage for an uncharted path. Surprisingly, the fissures caused by conflict yield an opportunity, a chance for honesty, healing, and hope, or an irrevocable breach that could fracture the family forever. The royal halls that once echoed with the heavy silence of withheld words now murmur with a tentative sincerity, as if each member of the family treads a brittle bridge that could either unite or splinter beneath them. This is where Charles steps forward, with a vision etched deeply into his eyes, a dream of a dynasty not divided by past wounds, but bound by a shared legacy. He imagines a royal family that embodies unity, not just in name but in truth and spirit. His voice lends credence to this vision, as much a plea as a promise, urging kindred spirits to clasp hands across ancient grudges. In the delicate dance of reconciliation, Kate emerges not merely as an emblem of poised grace, but as a linchpin in the evolving dynamics. Her role transcends tradition, becoming that of a bridge between ages, between fractured souls and, perhaps most poignantly, between the dyed threads of the past and those yet to weave their stories into the royal tapestry. In hushed tones, she offers solace and pragmatism, aware that her place is not just beside the throne, but at the heart of a potential renaissance. Her resolve inspires whispers of hope among younger generations who watch with wide eyes, eager yet apprehensive to inherit such a legacy. As the public peels back the layers of familial drama through the kaleidoscopic lens of media, they find themselves part of this unprecedented saga. The family's success or struggle reflects a broader modernity, a daring departure from the gilded cage that past monarchies constructed. Amid speculation and scrutiny, a question lingers. Will these royals, wary and worn, rise above their personal divides to showcase a renewal that redefines a throne on shifting sands? A broader narrative unfolds like a suspenseful manuscript, each chapter teasing the promise of a monarchy reborn or resigned to slow decay. The lines between personal and public, between private failings and collective resilience, blur into one poignant question that electrifies the ether. Is this the moment of redemption or the eve of ruin? With cautious optimism guiding their steps, the royal family embarks on a reflective journey toward potential renewal or inevitable demise. And so, with each step laden with history and possibility, the story continues, undulating towards an uncertain but ever hopeful horizon.